Good morning. I am out here at the Rabbitry after several days of rain out here in Southern California. I hear our extreme drought is now considered a moderate drought, so that is nice. But I know I hadn't shown you the Rabbitry yet, so I thought I would just give you a close-up peek of it. This shed was here when we bought the property, but it wasn't anything fancy. Actually, it was full of a bunch of crap the old owners left. So, when I got it, it just had this one window, no hardware cloth over it, and that wouldn't be enough to raise rabbits with. They need lots of light, they need lots of ventilation, and so I set up a system where I have the opportunity to batten up the hatches or batten down the hatches if I want to. You can see we got that, 2 layers of security, have the deadbolt and the hook. We get a lot of east-west winds here, so I end up closing these 2 sides during storms. But in the summer, all 6 of my windows are open, and I also have a solar-powered ventilation unit up there. Primarily, it's solar because I didn't have to hire an electrician to come install it. I don't know if you can see it up there, but there she is. That's the unit from the outside. And of course, I have a couple small solar panels in here. That powers or charges a battery that allows me to use this little light at night. So in the winter, I extend their daylight hours by about 2 hours, maybe up to 4 around the solstice. That way, they can have, basically, it tricks their brains into thinking it's spring, so they will produce babies all year round. I'll show you some of my grow outs here. There's a male, another male, and another male. Those 3 are all ones I'm getting ready to butcher. I'm just letting them grow out to roasting size. You can see I've got a 9-hole rabbitry. That's a really good minimum to start with if you ever think about doing rabbits. Here's my pal Bugs Bunny. He's one of my breeders. It's hard to tell how big they are, so I'm going to just put my hand in there with them. You can see my bugs. They're pretty big. They're probably about 10, 11 pounds. My biggest guy here is Homer. Hi, Homer. You can see he's just massive. His name is Homer Simpson, and his mate over here is Marge. Marge is large and in charge as well. I have a new little breeder getting ready to be big enough to be bred. Her name is Lilu, like the character from The Fifth Element. And most importantly, you can see I've got some baby bunnies here. There's Sweet Pea. She's my favorite rabbit. She's a mutt. I kept her because she's nice. I got her mom on a trade for some quail, and she gave birth to a bunch of rabbits and immediately died. So I kept this one as a breeder. Her mom was pretty old, so it wasn't unexpected, but she's just such a great mommy. You can see the little babies here. I'll get one out, see what you think. Yeah, so she makes these nice mutt babies. Everyone else is New Zealand Reds. As soon as Sweet Pea ends out her career with me, you could say, I will switch to another New Zealand Red. The reason I do these is they're kind of a hard-to-find breed. New Zealands are common, but Reds were the original. And, so they're harder and harder to find now. But I've got them, and I can usually sell them at a premium. These guys go anywhere between $65 and $120. I'm not a dick, so I sell them for usually $65 to $75, especially if people are just getting into the hobby. I don't want like elitism to be a barrier for entry. This one I'm zooming in on right here is named Marin. She's very, very nice. She is my newest breeder that is in production. You can see everyone's got, you know, waters. They got a hopper for hay, pellets. Pretty straightforward. The does, basically what I do is I keep my 2 males over here, breeding with my does in these 4 cages. And then when their babies are big enough, they go to the top cages to finish growing. So, you know, in ideal conditions, which I am far from having ideal conditions, these guys can make, you know, about 100 pounds of meat per doe per year. So if I was running at full efficiency, breeding them as much as I could, giving them the optimum feeding schedule, and everyone was behaving like they are supposed to, I could get like 400 pounds of meat a year. As it sits, we're probably doing about half of that, but that's still enough for a little family of 4 to eat as much meat as we want and to share with guests. And, you know, if we have a party, often I'll grind up a bunch of rabbit meat ahead of time, and we will have bunny burgers. It's also a really nice filter for people I do and don't want to be friends with. If people freak out that I'm eating rabbits or have baby bunnies on site that are not pets, that's a pretty good sign that they're not someone I want to be friends with. So overall, I can't recommend having rabbits enough. Way better than chickens in terms of meat. They grow out really quickly. They're very easy to butcher. There's no plucking involved. And I can probably butcher one of these in 5 to 10 minutes usually. If I'm just doing one, you know, that doesn't include setup and stuff, but I can get through a batch of 8 of them in like a couple of hours usually. So anyway, hope you enjoyed. Hope you have a great rest of your day.